Hey Craps Crusaders, I've got another video for you today. This video just begs for you to tinker with it and turn it into your own, how you want to play it. But I think there's some good things to it. Anyways, I appreciate you watching, like, and subscribe. Thanks. Okay, it's probably best to kind of give you the overview during the live roll with this strategy. You'll pick it up faster. I'm going to play this with $1,500, playing it at a $15 table. And let me show you how we start. So you've got to wait for a point to be established. The point's going to be 4. Let me let the dog out real quick. I don't know if you guys heard the bell ring. All right, so the point's 4. We're going to start with $180. Here's how you're going to allocate that. It's going to be 60 each on the 6 and 8, so there's 120. And then 15 each on the 5, 9, 4, and 10. So 120 plus another 60 is 180. The first thing you need to know is what we're looking to do. Step 1 is to get our 4, 5, 9, and 10 up to the $30 level as soon as possible using our winnings. So let's try to make that happen. There's a 6. That's a good one. We like to hit 6 or 8 right off the bat because we got $60 each on those. All right, so that's going to pay $70. I'm going to pay it in red. There's 50. And 20 is 70. Remember, we want the 4, 5, 9, and 10 to $30 as soon as we can get it. So they each need to go up 3 units. 1 unit. 2 units. 3 units. The remaining $10, throw it in the rack. All right. So now if we hit a 4, 5, 9, or 10, what we're going to do is we collect and take it back down to the $15 level, just the number we hit. Just know that for now. We'll see how things play out. Okay, there's a 4. That is the point, so let me pull that down. So we've got $30 out there. It's going to pay 60. There's the $60. We're going to owe a $3 VIG for that, so there's $3. And remember, I said that 4 is going to come back down to 15. So we got a little money to put in our rack now. First thing, we need a new point set. So let's go and get that done. 6 is the point. Another thing you need to remember, now that the 4, 5, 9, and 10 have been up to $30, I know the 4 is not anymore, but at one point they've all been up to $30. The next 6 or 8 we hit, we're going to collect and take it down to 30 and then use our winnings to take each of these up 1 unit. So just remember that. File that one away. Okay, there's a 6. That's the point. Okay, so we've got $60 out there. It's going to pay 70. So let's go 75 for 5, first of all. And then remember, I said we were going to take that 6 down to 30. Why? Because our outside is crossed over the $30 threshold already. And then there's one other thing we do when we hit a 6 or an 8 after the outsides went over the $30 threshold. Whenever we hit a 6 or 8, we use some of the winnings to take the outside up 1 unit. So I think for the most part we've been through everything now. We'll play it out and you'll just see the pattern. We're looking to churn and build things up, collect, take them down, build them back up, profiting the whole time. Okay, 3 on the come out roll. There's a 5. So the point is 5. Here we go. There's an 8, a hard 8. That's a great one for us. We still have the $60 out there. So it's going to pay 70. I'm going to go 75 for 5 again. So we'll rack that. Our 8 will come down to 30. And then remember, we use our winnings from the 6 or 8 to take the outside up a unit. Let me get a little change. There we go. All right. There's a 10. That's a good one. So what do we got out there? We've got $40 out there, so that's going to pay $80. All right, so there's the $80. It's going to be a $4 VIG. So there's $4 to pay the VIG. This has more than $30 on it, so we collect and take it back down to the $15 level. So we're churning it over. Here we go. Here's a 6, hard 6. All right, so $30 is going to pay 35. I'm not very organized over here. So there's the 35. So what we do is we take the outside up a unit with that, whatever's left over, which is always going to be $15 when you've got the $30 and that pays 35. So we put the 15 in our rack, and here we go. There's a 9. Nice big stack on there. That means we're going to be collecting and then taking it back down to 15. We've got 9 units out there. 9 times 7 is 63. There's the 63. Take our 9 back down to $15. Put stuff in our rack. And we're continuing to roll. So we've got, we've taken some off the table. We still have some opportunity. That's what we're looking for. 3, craps 3. There's an 8. One thing you could change when you're playing, you want to start building those back up some, you can. I know I'm just leaving them at the $35 level. So $30 is going to pay 35. So there's the 35. We'll put that in our rack. And remember, from our winnings on the 6 or 8, the outside goes up a unit. Here we go. That's a 2, snake eyes. All right, there's another 8. So again, it's going to pay 35. And I'm going to go actually 50 for 15, first of all. And we'll use some of our winnings to build up the outside. Here we go. Another 8. Man. Okay, so again, it's going to pay 35. There's the 35. Use some of our winnings to build up the outside. There we go. There's a 5. 5 was the point. Let's see how many we got out there. Got 12 units out there. That's going to pay 84. 75. 80. I'm going to pay at 84 also. There's the 84. That's going to go back down to the $15 level. So what's happening right now is we're having a great roll. What will happen is you won't have a great roll. You'll get that 180 out there and then 7 out. So these big rolls, you need 1 or 2 of them to start making good money. All right, so let's get a new point set. All right, there's a 9. So the point is 9. Here we go. 2, craps 2. Here's an 8. $30 8's going to pay 35. There's the 35. So we put that in our rack. But 20 of it we're going to use to build up the outside. Another 8. All right, 30 is going to pay 35. Let's go 50 for 15 again, first of all. And again, 20 of that builds up the outside. There's a 9, that's a good one. Point was 9, so that comes down. As far as units, we've got 8 units out there. 8 times 7 is 56. That goes back down to the $15 level. So you can see the 6 and 8 is fueling the outside. All right, let's get a new point. 4, easy 4. And there's a 6. So again, 35, 20 of it, builds up the outside. We'd really like to hit one of those. And if you say you really want to hit one of those, you roll a 7. Okay, I know we left a lot of money out there, but we brought a lot of money in too. It's kind of the nature of this strategy. When you hit things just perfectly, build them up and hit the big 4 and 10s, that's when you really kill it. All right, so let's get a new point set. 10, 6, 4, 10. So we're gonna start with $60 each on the 6 and 8, and then our 15s on the outside numbers. Here we go. Look at that, 7 right off the bat. There's the other side of this. It was a 7, I just rolled it over to a 6. So I'm just gonna put another 180 out there to pay for that. And we'll try again. You know, this is where if you wanted to, you could ladder this up. I've tried this a little bit and it's not bad. It's worked sometimes. I leave the 6 and 8 alone, but I start with a higher level on the outside and then build it up to $20 higher from whatever level it was at. And then start playing the same way. That's the way I ladder it, but up to you. Let's get a new point set. 6 is the new point. There we go. Here's an 8. We like that one. That's going to pay $70. There's 50, 60, 70. That's 2 units. 3 units gets us to our 30, which leaves 10 extra bucks. So we're already at the $30 level. We're ready to start getting paid out already. All right, there's an 8. That's a great one. It's going to pay $70. This time, let's go 75. Take that back. This will be faster. 50, 60. There's the 70. Okay, so we hit an 8. That's going to come down to 30. Whenever we hit that 6 or 8, we use 20 of it to take the outside up a unit. You get to rack some money now. Here we go. Here's a 5. I think we got 7 units out there. Yeah, 7 units. It's going to pay $49, so 50 for 1. And that 5 goes down to 15. There's an 8. That's down to the $30 level. It's going to pay 35. I'm going to get 50 for 15, first of all. And then we're going to use 20 of that to build up our outside. Here we go. There's a 9. 8 units, I think. It's going to pay $56. So there's the 56. The 9's going to go back down to the $15 level. Here we go. Here's a 10. It's a good one. All right, so we've got $40 out there. It's going to pay 80. 75. There's the $80. $4 VIG we have to pay. That 10 is going to go back down to the $15 level. By the way, these ones that aren't 30 anymore, if we hit, we're going to use the winnings from those to try to build back up towards the 30 or higher. We'll just use the money on those to pay to build up the outside. Happens every time. I give a long explanation, then I toss a 7. All right, 7 out. Again, there's nothing wrong with that roll. That's a good roll. Here's a 10, 6, 4, 10. All right, so we're gonna start with our 120 on the 6 and 8 and get our 15 set up. Let me get some change. There we go. All right, here's, we're at our most vulnerable. That's a 3, craps 3. Here's a 9. So we like it better when the 6 and 8 hits. It lets us build up to 30 like instantly. The 9 doesn't quite do that. Pays 21. So we've got 4 chips to use to take the outside up a unit. Throw 1 in the rack. There's a 5. So this time we've got 20 out there. It's going to pay 28. There's the 28. Another way you could play that is, when it pays 28, you could toss $2 more out there and get another red chip to get towards your 30 faster. Up to you, however you want to play it. Oh, that's a snake eyes. There's a 4. We like that. We've got $30 out there, so that one is at the $30 payout. Is that right? Yeah. So that's going to pay $60. There's a $60 payout. We're going to owe a $3 vig. And we can take that 4 back down to the $15 level. There's a 6. It's another good one. We've got the 60 out there is going to pay 70. Let's go 75 for 5. These have all been at the... Yeah, actually not. They're not all at the $30 level yet. So we're going to still leave these at the 60. So we're just going to pay that. And then we always use $20 of our winnings from the 6 or 8 to take these up another unit. What had happened was the only one that got to 30 earlier was the 4, and then we hit it. So now everything's up to 30, or has been at one point. Here's an 8. That's a good one. $60 is going to pay 70. 75 for 5. That 8's going to go down to 30. We're going to rack money. And when we hit that 6 or 8, we'll use some of it to take the outside up a unit. And there's the 7 out. Again, pretty decent roll. And let's go ahead and play through it again. Here's a 4, so the new point is 4. There's our 60s. And we've got our 15s on the outside. There's a 6. That's what we like off the bat. Those are fantastic. All right, so that's going to pay 70. There's 50, 60, 70. Hitting that 6 or 8 gets us instantly to our $30 and puts 10 in our rack. All right, it's money making time. 7. I just knew it. That's rough. So that's, we lost 170 bucks on that roll. We put 10 in our rack and had put 180 out there. All right, play through again. 3, craps 3. That's a 9. All right, so the new point's 9. Our 60s and our 15s. There we go. Another 7 out. Again, you could choose to start laddering up however you see fit. I don't know why I did it that way. It's just... an extra chip for some reason. Oh well, extra $5 chip maybe I put out there. Okay, so I need to pay 180 to keep that out there. There's 200. $80 change. Here we go. So the new point's 4. I need to bring that over to there. 12. Craps 12. Back-to-back boxcars. Another 7 out, guys. Okay, so we need another 180. There's 200. Oops, take the change from the bank, not my rack. $20 change. And this is it. So we need a new point. New point is 6. There's a 9. That's going to pay 21. And I think what I'm going to do is there's the 21. I'm going to take $4 and toss it in there for another red chip. Here we go. All right, there's a 5. It's going to pay 21 again. 21. And I'm going to toss in $4. Get another red chip. So that's another way you could do it. So we've got the 4 and 5 to the $30 level already, but not the 9 and 10. Here's a 10. Got 25 out there is going to pay 50. So it's going to pay 50. We'll pay a $3 vig on that. $3 vig. Yeah, so it pays 50. And let's go ahead and get these up to the $30 level then. All right, so that's at the $30 level. We'd rack the rest. Here we go. 7 out. I was hoping we could have one more shooter. Didn't happen. I don't know, guys. That may not have worked out that time. I've got a little money here. Just gonna throw in the rack. I'll count it up and tell you how much I lost. Okay, so here was the damage on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got 1,000, 1,100, 1,200, 1,300, 1,400, $1,417. So it started with 1,500. Lost a little bit of money playing it through that time, actually. But hopefully you saw how the strategy worked. So, think of it what you will. Maybe you can use some of that stuff in some of your strategies, or not. But anyways, hope you liked the video. Like and subscribe. I appreciate it.